Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Red Dawn. My name is Kiri, and what a night that was in Germany. Liverpool are back with a massive 5-1 win over Frankfurt in the Champions League. After four losses on the bounce, that was exactly what we needed. It was the Liverpool performance we've been crying out for. Frankfurt away, Champions League night, and we came out 5-1 winners. I'm going to say the number five quite a bit, but five goals, five different scorers, and honestly, a complete transformation from the last few weeks. We came into this one under real pressure. Four defeats in a row, the confidence gone, the fan base a bit divided over Arne Slot's selections, including myself. People were starting to question everything: tactics, mentality, even some of the big names. So to go away to a tough German side like Frankfurt and absolutely dominate that like that, that is just massive. So let's break it all down from the lineup choices to the key moments to what this result really means for the rest of our season. So, firstly, with the lineup, uh, Slot, he made some tough decisions and it had to be done. Salah on the bench, I've been calling for ages, and it just had to be done. You know, obviously the last few weeks he wasn't producing any goals, any assists. It was the right decision. Up top, we had Isaac and Ekatike starting together, a bold modern front two. Behind them, Gakpo just floating between the lines in the midfield. Florian Wirtz returned, and finally he made a massive difference. He gave us that creativity we have been missing. Soboslai, he had the freedom to press and support alongside with Curtis Jones to fill in the holding midfield position, which was vacated by Ryan Gravenberg, who did not play in that game. Van Dijk and Kanate looked like a proper centre back partnership again. And from the first minute, you could tell the plan was to just control possession and use quick vertical passing rather than the endless sideways stuff. But typical Liverpool, we concede first, don't we? About 25 minutes in, Frankfurt, they nick one in. We're half asleep, and suddenly it's 1-0. I'll be honest, in that moment, I thought, oh no, here we go again. Another slow start, another uphill battle. What are we going to do now? But this time, we didn't sulk, we didn't panic. The reaction was immediate. You could see the flick of the switch, the pressing intensity went up, the body language changed. Ekatike and Isak, they just started bullying the defenders. Verts, he demanded the ball, and suddenly we looked absolutely alive again. And then came the equaliser, and what a moment for Ekatike against his old side. He runs his time, he times his run perfectly, bursts on through the left and slots it past the keeper. It was pure class. And he didn't celebrate against his former club. And I thought that was absolute respect from him. And from that point, Frankfurt just looked absolutely rattled. 4 minutes later, our captain, Virgil van Dijk, he rises like a monster at the back post. Boom, it's 2-1. And then, literally, a few minutes after that, Kanade joins the party with another header, two centre back goals in 5 minutes. And that's what I'm talking about. That was the Liverpool. We're winning through set pieces, which we never usually do. So I just couldn't believe it either. It's something that Arsenal like doing, and we thought, you know what? Let's score goals through set pieces as well. All that criticism about us being weak on set pieces was answered. By half time, it's 3-1. And suddenly the Reds are flying again. Energy back, smiles back, belief is back, everything. Second half, we absolutely ran the show. Verts, man, he was everywhere. Everything good went through him. His movement between the lines, his little disguised passes. That's the link we've been missing. Gakpo gets our fourth after a lovely move again, started by Wirtz. Then Soboslai makes it 5 with a rocket from distance. That's his trademark. Low, driven, bottom corner, unstoppable. A bit of a Steven Gerrard in him. And after that, it was just all game management. We didn't sit back. We kept the ball controlled. Controlled the tempo. And Frankfurt, they just never looked like scoring again. And I believe that's the mark of a champion team. Well, let's talk about some individuals because there are a lot of big performances out there tonight. Start off with Hugo Ekitike. I thought he was absolutely superb. Tireless pressing, linked up beautifully. He scored the crucial equaliser. You could see why Slot wanted him to come to Anfield. We are so lucky to have Hugo Ekitike as a Liverpool Football Club player. And again, this is what happens when you start him. Absolute magic. And speaking of absolute magic, talking about this man again, Florian Wirtz, 2 assists. He finally got an assist. So the 007, that could go on the bin right now. Creativity, composure. He's got that eye for space that changes games. Other than losing the ball, which led to Frankfurt's first goal, I thought he was absolute class. This is why we should keep starting this guy. He's only going to get better. So well done, Florian. Our centre-back partnership, firstly, Virgil van Dijk. He led like a captain, scored, organised, vocal. You could tell he was filthy after that first goal, and he was not going to let that happen again. His partner in Ibrahima Konate, he was strong, confident in the air. A great goal from him as well. This is what we want to see from Konate. Cody Gakpo, who I have been critical of this season, I thought he was really good. Clever movement, good pressing. He got the back of the net as well. He's been scoring in his last 3 appearances, which is what you want from your winger. And Dominic Szoboszlai, he's my man of the match. Absolute machine. He worked super, super hard and capped it with a super strike and assist. He bossed the whole match. With that being said, we do have some concerns. There's still a few things to fix. We can't keep conceding the first goal. It's becoming a bad habit. You just can't keep giving teams a head start and expect to win every time. We were always going to win this match. Frankfurt folded like a deck of cards, and they were just way too open after we scored the second. You won't see that against a team like Man City, Arsenal, who are flying at the moment, even though they do rely on set pieces to win games. They are getting the results. But also in Europe, Bayern Munich, they look absolutely scary. PSG as well. All these clubs, this is a great win for us, no doubt about it. But this is the standard we should set and build from going forward. And I would absolutely love to see a clean sheet. I just can't remember when the last time we had a clean sheet at all this season. I think the 1-0 win against Arsenal. But yeah, other than that, we just haven't seen a clean sheet for ages. I want to see one. I want to see one, and let's do it against Brentford in our next match. Fitness wise, moving on, Frimpong, he went off to what looks like a hamstring injury. Expect him to be out for quite some time. It's a shame because we haven't seen much of Frimpong. He did just get back from the same injury. But thankfully, we have Connor Bradley to cover for us on the right-hand side, and he was fantastic as well. He didn't pick up another yellow card, which would rule him out for our next Champions League match against Real Madrid. So unfortunately, we won't see Jeremy for the time being, but rest assured, we got Connor Bradley, and he's been playing some fantastic football as well. I'd love to see him do that slide tackle on Mbappe again. Also, Alexander Isak, he went off at half-time with a groin issue. Hopefully nothing too serious with that. He had 2 shots on target when he was on. Yeah, it's a shame because I thought he looked okay when he was on for those 45 minutes. They were feeding the ball to him, but it just wasn't to be. Like Verts, it's going to take some time. We know what his price tag is and expectations are, but he will adapt to the system. He's a damn great footballer, and once it all clicks in, he's going to give defenders in the Premier League and in Europe nightmares. But apart from that, the structure looked right. I loved the 4-4-2 formation that Slot implemented. What really stood out to me was the balance we finally had, width and penetration. Obviously Ekatike pulling out wide left, dragging the defenders out, while Isaac stayed central when he was on the pitch. That opened lanes for Verts to slip in those through balls. The pressing was coordinated. Isaac pressed the centre backs. Ekatike cut off passing lanes, and the midfield four just backed it up with intensity. We just haven't seen that level of defensive shapes in weeks. And as a fan, I loved it. It felt like watching the Liverpool of old, the Klopp Liverpool, direct, intense, and tactically sharp. You could tell the players knew their jobs. None of that confusion we've seen lately when pressing in the last few weeks. It was dynamic. It allowed us to protect the back line while still flooding forward when we attacked. And if this is the blueprint going forward, I'm absolutely all for it. But what about you? Let me know in the comments. Who was your man of the match? Massive night, massive performance, and hopefully the start of something. If you enjoyed the win and this analysis, smack that like button, subscribe if you're new, and as always, up the Reds.